It's Bruno, and this is Bruno's Realm, my theme park. We are riding on the Green Hornet. Notice that there's no tracks on this Minecraft roller coaster, and that the minecart is kind of fancy, and all the tilt. And we go up, and then we go down. We even go in loops, and we could go upside down, sort of. The cart would go upside down, but Minecraft doesn't allow the player to go upside down. We're basically on armor stands. Alright, and if I switch views, you can see the cart. It's got a train of you can put as many carts as you want on the train. You can adjust the speed, but it does it all automatically based on where you put the plots. So if you go uphill and place a plot, it'll go a little bit slower, and if you go downhill and place a plot, it will go a little bit faster. If you take a turn with your plot, then you'll have tilt. And also you can rotate the cart and things like that, but it does it all as well. And this is a pause. You can do a wait sign under the track. Signs have to be at least 2 blocks underneath the actual player riding height there, the track. And it can make the roller coaster wait for a certain period of time in seconds. And then it locks it so people can't get in or out until it's done moving, or you can unlock it with commands or with signs under the track. It stops, you get a little whoosh noise, and then people can get on. They have to right click it though. A lot of people struggle with this. It's just having to right click an armor stand, you know? And then the train starts again if you have it set to a loop. You don't have to use a loop if you don't want to. If you restart the server or start the server up from a shutdown, it remembers what it was doing. So if it was looping for 15 seconds, it'll start at the beginning and then loop for 15 seconds each time again. You can only have 1 train per track, but as many carts as you like. There's also locomotives. So what we need is a block so we can go up. You want to build your roller coaster first. So there we go. Go up and then down and all around. You don't need tracks at all. Loop. So you don't need to worry about any of the vanilla Minecraft stuff. Build your tracks without tracks. Alright, so next, if you want to make it do something interesting, you can get underneath the track and you can put a sign. So let's say, for instance, I want the speed to go to 25, which is really, really fast. Alright, so it's going to go up that hill really, really fast. And then it's going to come down, and if we want to make it stop on a dime, we can. We can go, alright. Placing a sign underneath it says we're going to make the train wait for 2 seconds, right there. And then we're going to do, and we're going to set the speed of it right beforehand. So it comes down really fast and then gets normal speed, and it'll continue the speed even after the wait sign. Speed of, let's say, 8. So you guys can see what the difference is between 8 and 25. Then as it comes around this corner, it will tilt and rotate and come around here, and it'll keep going on until it's done. So, to build your roller coaster, you just need to start with RC roller coaster, start path. Then you can start using RC add point, and wherever your feet are, it places a armor stand. Okay? Now, walking around and hitting that was tiresome at first. and so that you can go ahead and bind it to an essentials tool, which I have with the shulker shell. So every time I click this, an armor stand goes on my feet. So basically, you don't have to put any more points unless you want to go up, down, left, or right. If you were going straight forever, you could just go to that point, like way over here, and place a point, and it would just build a path from there to there and be done. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to skip one block, and we're going to go up. Oh, and we want to actually be standing on that block. And you want to be in the center of it. You can. Now, these are armor stands, so if you're way over on this edge of the block, it'll know to send it to this edge of the block. So you want to be like as fairly accurate as you can. How well you set up your coaster's plot points determines how well and smooth it will ride. So there you go. You saw I clicked. It placed another armor stand. Alright. And that means that that was not far enough away for that one to go. So I'm going to go up here to the next one. And you want to make sure you go to your highest point and make sure that there's an armor stand there before coming down. Then, see, I'm going to get right on the edge of this thing. In fact, I'm going to do a little trick here, and I'm going to place a block for scaffolding. I'm going to place it on that. Then I'm going to delete that, and then I'm going to move forward. And I'm going to skip a block. And what that does is it gives you, see that? It's up in the middle of the air. It remembers that you were standing at that point, okay? And it's creating a smoother line than your blocks. Now, these will all disappear when you're done building your track, and your riders will enjoy a smooth ride, and the people watching, and when they're watching themselves in third person, they'll see just this big jump, and they'll be like, oh, that was really fun. Alright, so we're going to keep going. Here's a turn, so we're going to go to the edge of the turn, you know, in the middle, however you want to do it. Be as accurate as possible. Click. See, it builds point there. And then we're going to go the other direction, so we're going to put a point there. And I'm going to keep doing that until I get an actual armor stand to plop. Now this is what's fun. You kind of have to deal with this, is it'll drag you around this point. So you may want to design your track to be a little bit wider and go all the way out here around. But if you didn't think ahead like us, you can just break these points like so. Okay. Oh, that was something else from a long time ago. Don't need it. And you can make your track wider that way too. Alright. It doesn't even want to put another block there because of that armor stand. So, anyways, just an idea. You can work on it as you go. So you go all the way down to the next turn now. Place another one, RC add point, boom, and see it auto fills all of these points in a line. And again, it's going to drag us around this corner. This time I'm going to remember and I'm going to come out a little bit. See, now it'll drag out a little bit. And we'll go all the way down here to this corner. Let's go to the edge here. And then we'll do this. That one's going to drag around the corner too. So you get better at this as you do it, and you design your tracks better as you go. I just threw together this so I could teach you guys how to add points, and I try to get right up on this guy if I can, but you can get like right behind it too. See, there you go. And that connects the track. So it'll start with this one, go up, down, around, and stop right there. Okay, so when you're done, you do RC build path, and then you're going to name your track because you just built your track path. So we're going to call this test track. Oh, I did it wrong. I don't need path, just build. RC build test track. There you go. See, it disappeared all of those. Now, if it doesn't disappear all of those for whatever reason, because this was a small track, it was all in one chunk. If you build a big track, even one as big as my Green Hornet that we saw at the beginning, sometimes those chunks will unload before you're done building the track, and those points will stay there. So, now we can go ahead and put this stuff back. There's something here that it doesn't like. It's kind of strange. Must be an invisible armor stand from before, back in the day. Anyway, so this track is now built, we just need to create a train. So let's get our item that we're going to use. Now, for instance, I have my resource pack on, and I have a 3D model attached to my minecart item and my furnace minecart item. Okay? But you can attach a 3D texture to any block you wish with a resource pack. Okay? See, minecart.zip that I have. If I take that resource pack off, you'll see here in a second that those are just regular carts now. Okay? So you see, it's not the plugin that's doing that. It's a resource pack that I have added. So it's up to you to provide your own resource pack images for your carts and things like that. There are some out there that you can get a hold of if you look hard enough. All right. So now we have chosen that we're going to use this for our deal. So we're going to do RC create train, or train create rather. RC train create. Create. No, it's RC create train. No. How come I can't remember this? When in doubt, just use RC help. RC train create. That's right, there's a space. Alright, so RC train create, and then we're going to do test track train. No, let's not do that. We'll call this the test train that rides on the test track. Okay? So it tells me that I need some more parameters. I need to designate the type it is, that the train name it is, which I did. It's test train, and it says I need to declare how many seats are in the locomotive. I'm going to put 0 because we're not going to show that yet, and then how many seats are in each cart. This model that I'm using, you can make it for 4 or for 2. I'm going to make it for 2. And you can see that it says train created. Okay, so now I need to create some chairs. All right, so RC train chairs position POS. Name is going to be the name of the train that we're adjusting. So in this case, it's going to be test train. Then we're going to do the chair number. The position of the first chair we're going to set is actually 0. No, it's not 1, it's 0. So 0 is the first thing that it finds, is the 0 chair. And that chair is going to be offset to the left or the right. And I'm going to say 0, but you could do 0.5 to make it off to the right just a little bit, or negative 0.5 to off to the left a little bit. You can do whole block numbers, whatever you want to do. So my experience is that half blocks work good with small armor carts. I call them armor carts, armor stands, and large armor stands. I think that 1 or 0.8 work pretty good. So for my 2-seater, I'm going to put 1 person in the front, 1 person in the back. So for left and right, we're going to remain 0. And then we're going to offset the front and back to be 0.5, so a half a block forward, and up or down. So on the axis, are you sitting up higher or lower? And we're going to go lower 0.5, because I noticed that I was sitting kind of high up in the cart before. I want to see how this brings me down a little bit. Brings me down, man. And then we're going to designate this as a cart seat 0. Okay, not a locomotive, but a cart. You can see all that stuff in help, and it'll teach you as you go. As you type in the commands, it will punish you and tell you to do it the right way. So there you go. Now what we want to do is adjust this last command we just used, RC train chairs POS test train. We're going to change it to seat 1, which is actually the second seat in the cart. We're going to leave it offset from the front and back 0. I mean from left and right 0, and from the front and back we're now going to make it a negative 0.5, which makes it move to the back. We're going to leave negative 0.5 for the seat height, so it's going to be a little bit lower than the actual axis. And then we're going to again designate this as a cart seat, not a locomotive seat. And you can see it says train edited, so we don't need anything else for this train. So we're going to now reload the plugin. What that does is it saves the track to the YML file, and it saves the train to the YML file, and now you can go ahead and spawn your train. Alright, so you can just do it wherever. This part is not as important. It does, however, designate the rotation of the train as it gets on the track for the first time. So that's the only thing that does. It's really no big deal. Spawn train. That's what we're doing. And it tells you if you just type in the command, you need all of these algorithm or options to spawn a train. You need a train name, which is actually the track name. Okay, so the track name is Test Track. And the train that rides on that track for this is going to be Test Train. How many seats are in each, how many carts are going to be on the train? I'm going to say 2. And it's a short train, so it doesn't need to be very long. You could even do 3 if you want. We'll do 3. 3 carts on the train. And then, does it have a locomotive? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. 1 for yes, 2 for no. So we're going to say no, it doesn't. We need to set up a locomotive, and then a cart offset. All right. So the cart offset is going to be where the carts align with each other on the track. So are they going to be squished up against each other and literally like on top of each other? That'd be a low number. Or are they going to be spaced with some air between each cart so that they don't jostle into each other, so it provides a little bit more realistic experience? My experience with this is that the offset for the carts is based on the speed of the train, and if the developer ever updates the plugin and adjusts the speed or lower, he'll adjust the notes, then you'll notice that your offset of your carts changes slightly or largely if he makes a big change. So right now, currently with the plugin, I find 80 to be the best cart offset for small armor stands. I also like the small armor stands better than the larger ones. So we've got test train, 3 for the carts, 2 for no locomotive, 80 for the cart offset between the carts. Minimum speed has to be at least 1 for the train to move. So we're going to say 1. The maximum speed is recommended to be 30. You can probably go faster. And you can definitely do maximum speed 5 if you want, and say the train is like a kiddie ride and nobody can go fast at all. So 30. Small or large armor carts, armor stands. So 0 would be regular large armor stands, 1 would be small. I like small, so we're going to use small. Y offset is where the cart sits on the track, up or down, based on your plot points. So if your armor stand is 0, where that plot point is on the track, 1 would make it 1 block higher than that. Now you got to remember that if you adjust this number, that any signs that you use underneath the track have to remain within 2 blocks of that armor stand. So if you move it up 1 block, that means your signs have to be moved up 1 block too. So we're going to say 0, or you could even do -1 and make the cart ride 1 block lower. But you got to think about dragging your people through blocks and things like that. All have a good use though, depending on what you're trying to do with the system, so keep those tricks in mind. We're going to go with 0 offset, and we're going to say boom, the train was spawned. Let's give us some daylight, and you can see in all its beauty, that's actually 3 carts right on top of each other. You can't tell that. So now you'll notice that we don't even have to be anywhere near it, and we can just do start train, and it'll tell you what train do you want to start. And really what you want to do is what track are you going to start. The train has already spawned, so we're going to say the test track. That's what we want to start. And you notice it starts and immediately stopped there, and it keeps going. And then when it's done, you hear a little whoosh, it's done. So you can get in this puppy somehow, and let's go for a little ride. RC start train test track. It hits that pause, that wait sign, and it goes around, it tilts just like we had it all set, and then we go really fast, and then it stops really fast. So you can see how that works. Now let's say we want it to keep going on forever and ever. Now if you do a loop, remember it's going to lock the train, so you will never be able to get out. You have to unlock it normally or with signs. So before we do that, let's jump out and put a sign underneath the track that locks and unlocks the train. Alright, so as it comes down here, we want to unlock the train. We're going to do locked, 0, not locked, right? Okay. All right. Don't need that anymore. All right. Then onto this here, when we get with this spot, we're going to lock the train as it goes around this corner, so nobody can get in or out until it finishes going around the track. 1 for locked. Boom. Just like that. It's done. All right, here we go. Got all those signs in there. Go ahead and get in our train. Once you're in, you can't really switch seats, so wherever you go, you won't have to be there. Now, if you look, I think because we're sitting up, it's a little weird, so we'll see what happens when we start. Boom. Notice that my seat is still way too high, so that's something I have to work with to try to get my seat in the right position. To start the loop, we just go loop, test track, and then we designate how long we want it to sit here at the waiting station before it starts again. But we do have to start it for the first time ourselves, and then it does its thing. And notice that it'll just keep going. There it goes. Pretty neat. And it'll start again in 15 seconds all by itself. So I appreciate you guys coming out to the tutorial video. I am not the developer of this plugin, but I am a friend of the developer who has made the plugin, and they have a robust community on Discord where they're very active. And this is a minecart program that's like a free version, but they're going to develop a more fancy version that does some things, and they're coming up with those ideas in that Discord right now. So if you guys want to take part in that, go see that Discord. I'll put the link in the description of the video, as well as a link to my Discord for my Minecraft server, where you can come and ride all our rides and experience our RPG server, Bruno's Realm. So thanks again, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to let us know, and we'll see you next time. Bye.